Zara Val had spent centuries cataloging extinct civilizations, but nothing in her vast experience had prepared her for what she found in Archive Room 7249. The discovery started innocently enough. She was researching the collapse of the Centaurian Empire when she noticed an anomaly in the data streams. The anomaly led her to Earth's file, which carried the highest security classification she'd seen in her 300 years as senior archivist. The classification itself wasn't unusual. Many dangerous worlds were restricted. What caught her attention was the timestamp. Earth had been classified as extremely dangerous before it had achieved faster-than-light travel. "This can't be right," she muttered, her crystalline fingers dancing across the holographic interface. Primitive worlds were never given such classifications. They simply didn't pose enough threat to warrant attention from the Galactic Archives. Zara Val's research authorization allowed her to dig deeper. She found fragments of reports, each more disturbing than the last. A Rigelian survey ship that disappeared while studying Earth's moon. A Proximan diplomatic mission that fled the solar system, their ship badly damaged by what they described as impossibly primitive but devastating weapons. But it was the psychological evaluation that truly caught her attention. Species demonstrates unprecedented capacity for technological acceleration when threatened, the report read. Warning: humans exhibit unique combination of traits: extreme adaptability, persistent aggression when threatened, and most concerning, the ability to imagine threats before they exist and prepare for them. Zara Val accessed the restricted archives, using her senior credentials to bypass multiple security barriers. The deeper she dug, the clearer the picture became. Earth wasn't classified as dangerous because of what humans had done. It was classified as dangerous because of what they might do. She found records of human entertainment, stories they told themselves about alien invasions, about galactic wars, about humanity fighting against impossible odds and winning. While other species dreamed of peace among the stars, humans spent centuries imagining every possible way they might have to fight for survival. "They've been preparing," Zara Val whispered to herself. "All this time, they've been preparing for us." A particular file caught her attention, a human entertainment called Independence Day. She watched in fascination as humans depicted themselves defeating a technologically superior alien force through sheer determination and ingenuity. The file was marked with a notation: warning, not fiction. Tactical analysis. Humans practice war through entertainment. Zara Val's research was interrupted by a priority alert. Her access to the archives had been noticed. A message flashed across her screen. Report to the High Council immediately. Bring all findings regarding Earth. As she gathered her data crystals, Zara Val realized she had uncovered something far more significant than an archive anomaly. She had discovered why the most powerful civilizations in the galaxy had collectively decided to quarantine a single, seemingly primitive world. The humans hadn't needed faster-than-light travel to become a threat. They hadn't needed antimatter weapons or dimensional drives. They had something far more dangerous. They had imagination. They had spent centuries preparing for threats they hadn't yet encountered, building defenses for enemies they hadn't met, and creating weapons for wars that hadn't started. And now, as she prepared to face the High Council, Zara Val understood why Earth's file carried that simple, terrifying warning: do not approach, do not provoke, do not underestimate. The humans were ready. They had always been ready. And that's what made them the most dangerous species in the galaxy. Admiral Krios of the Galactic Exploration Fleet stood on the bridge of the Starweaver, the most advanced vessel ever constructed by the Andromeda Alliance. Their mission seemed simple: make first contact with Earth. After Zara Val's disturbing discoveries in the archives, the High Council had decided to evaluate humans directly. The Starweaver carried weapons that could vaporize continents, shields that could withstand supernovas, and stealth technology that made it invisible to all known detection systems. Its crew represented the pinnacle of galactic civilization, beings who had mastered the fundamental forces of the universe. Approaching Earth's lunar orbit, reported Navigator Licks, her bioluminescent skin pulsing with concentration. No sign they've detected us. Krios nodded, his crystalline exoskeleton reflecting the soft light of the bridge. Begin standard first contact protocol. Let's show these primitives what real technology looks like. The Starweaver's sensors swept Earth's surface, analyzing their level of technological development. The readings showed exactly what they expected. A species barely capable of reaching their own moon, still relying on chemical rockets and primitive computers. "Sir," called out Sensor Officer Ven, "I'm detecting some unusual energy signatures from Earth's dark side. Probably their primitive power plants." Krios dismissed. "Continue approach." Suddenly, every alarm on the bridge activated simultaneously. "Multiple launches detected," Ven shouted, their voice modulated with fear. "They're coming from hidden silos across their planet." Krios watched in disbelief as hundreds of missiles rose from Earth's surface. They were simple weapons, chemical propulsion, nuclear warheads, nothing that should concern a ship like the Starweaver. "Maintain course," he ordered. "Our shields can handle their entire nuclear arsenal." The first missile struck the Starweaver's shields, and something impossible happened. The shield flickered. A second missile hit, then a third. "Shield efficiency dropping," reported the defense officer. "They're using some kind of targeted electromagnetic pulse in combination with the nuclear detonations." "Impossible," Krios muttered. "They couldn't have known our shield frequency. They couldn't have known we were coming at all." But the evidence was undeniable. The humans had somehow anticipated not just their arrival, but their defensive capabilities. The missiles weren't trying to destroy the Starweaver. They were systematically testing and degrading its defenses. "Sir, we're being hailed," reported Communications Officer Tela. A calm human voice filled the bridge. "Attention, alien vessel. This is Earth Defense Command. Your stealth systems have been compromised. Your shield frequencies have been mapped. Your weapon systems are targeted. You have 30 seconds to retreat from Earth space or face destruction." "They're bluffing," Krios declared. "They can't possibly." A new wave of missiles launched, these ones different from the first. They moved in patterns that made no sense, until Krios realized with horror what they were doing. They were exploiting the weak points in the Starweaver's shield grid, points that should have been impossible for a primitive species to identify. "Sir," Ven's voice was shaking, "I'm detecting primitive nuclear submarines surfacing behind us. They're launching something. It's like they studied our blind spots." Krios made the only decision he could. Full retreat. Get us out of this system. As the Starweaver fled Earth's space, its mighty shields failing and its hull bearing scars from primitive nuclear weapons, Krios recorded his report to the High Council. "First contact with Earth has failed." But this was not a failure of contact. It was a failure of our understanding. The humans were ready for us. Not just ready. They had prepared specifically for our level of technology, our defensive capabilities, our tactical doctrine. They haven't achieved interstellar travel not because they can't, but because they won't. Not until they're certain they can defend themselves against any possible threat they might encounter. The final words of his report would be added to Earth's file in the Galactic Database. Earth is not a primitive world discovering space. It is an armed camp preparing for war with the universe itself, and they are far more prepared than we could have imagined. Lead observer Nera adjusted her quantum camouflage as she watched a group of human children playing in what they called a playground. After the Starweaver incident, the Galactic Council had dispatched her team of elite anthropologists to study humans up close. Their mission: understand how a pre-FTL species had managed to defeat the most advanced ship in the galaxy. What they found defied all known patterns of species development. "Look at this," whispered Rylek, her assistant, pointing to a child building with colored blocks. "They're not just playing. They're practicing engineering concepts. Every game teaches them something." Naira had noticed the same pattern everywhere. Humans turned everything into a learning opportunity, but more disturbingly, into preparation for conflict. Children played tag, teaching evasion tactics. They played hide and seek, training in stealth and detection. Even their digital entertainments were sophisticated combat simulators. New data from the education centers, reported Tenna, their cultural specialist. They're teaching their young ones about us. Naira accessed the feed from a human classroom. The teacher was discussing potential alien life, but not in the way other species did. No talk of peaceful contact or cultural exchange. Instead, they were teaching children to question everything, to look for weaknesses, to never assume friendly intentions. They're teaching paranoia, Rylak observed. No, Naira corrected. They're teaching survival. Their research revealed more disturbing patterns. Humans deliberately created problems for themselves to solve. They simulated disasters to practice responses. They invented imaginary enemies to develop new strategies. Every piece of their entertainment media contained some element of conflict resolution. But it was their response to failure that truly set them apart. When humans failed, they didn't give up. They became obsessed. Each failure was treated as a learning opportunity. They studied their mistakes with an intensity that bordered on madness. Naira's team discovered something else. Humans were aware they were being watched. Not specifically by her team, but they assumed they were under observation. They had developed countless theories about alien surveillance, and instead of being frightened, they were preparing. Breaking news alert, Tenna reported. They're testing something new. The team watched as humans launched what appeared to be a primitive satellite, but Naira's instruments detected something else. The satellite contained technology that shouldn't have been possible for their development level. They're reverse engineering, Naira realized with shock. Not from crashed ships or stolen technology. They're reverse engineering technology they haven't even encountered yet. They're imagining how advanced species might build things, then figuring out how to replicate it with their current capabilities. That evening, Naira compiled her report to the Council. Humans represent an unprecedented evolutionary path. While other species evolved to fit their environment, humans evolved to change their environment to fit them. They don't adapt to challenges. They overcome them through sheer force of will and creativity. Most concerning is their capacity for theoretical warfare. They don't wait for threats to appear. They imagine every possible threat and prepare countermeasures. They simulate conflicts with enemies they haven't met, develop defenses against weapons they haven't seen, and create strategies for scenarios that haven't occurred. Their entertainment media isn't just stories. It's a vast database of tactical scenarios. Every alien invasion story is a defense plan. Every space battle is a combat doctrine. They've been preparing for galactic-level warfare since before they left their atmosphere. Recommendation: maintain Earth's quarantine status, not to protect us from them, but to give them time. Either they will destroy themselves, or they will emerge into the galaxy as something we've never seen before, a species that spent its entire development preparing for every possible threat the universe could present. And if they do emerge, we must be ready. Because they certainly will be. The Grand Chamber of the Galactic Council had never been so crowded. Representatives from 1,000 worlds gathered to share their experiences with Earth. High Counselor Vexra, her crystalline form gleaming under the chamber's lights, called the emergency session to order. "We are here to compile evidence regarding the Earth situation," she announced. "The floor is open to testimony." The first to speak was Trading Master Sorn of the Mercantile Fleet. His tentacles writhed with anxiety as he recounted his experience. "We attempted to establish covered economic monitoring of Earth's financial systems. Simple task, we thought. We've done it with hundreds of developing worlds." He paused, his color shifting to a deeper blue. "They caught us in their networks. Not only caught us, they traced our probe back through subspace. They shouldn't have been able to do that. They shouldn't have even known to try." Next came War Scholar Kraz, a veteran of the Orion conflicts. "We analyzed their military development. Their progression makes no sense. They created nuclear weapons before developing reliable radar. They built space weapons before achieving stable orbital colonies. Every time they make a breakthrough, they immediately weaponize it, not for conquest, for defense. A murmur rippled through the chamber as Intelligence Director Nix took the floor. Her holographic form flickered with concern. Our psychological analysis is most troubling. Humans exhibit what we call preventive paranoia. They actively seek out potential threats and develop countermeasures before those threats materialize. They have detailed response plans for scenarios that have never occurred and might never occur. The testimonies continued for hours. A Siverian scientist described how humans had detected their atmospheric probes that had successfully monitored 1,000 other worlds unnoticed. A Centaurian diplomat revealed how Earth's military had tracked their supposedly untrackable observation posts. But it was the testimony of Guardian Mind Thelia that silenced the chamber. The ancient AI's avatar manifested in the center of the room, its voice resonating with the weight of millennia of computing power. I have analyzed all available data on human development patterns, Thelia began. Their technological progression follows no known model. They deliberately hold themselves back, perfecting each level of technology before moving forward. But when threatened, they advance at impossible speeds. The AI projected a simulation showing human technological development. Observe, when they believed they were alone in the universe, their space program progressed slowly. The moment they detected possible evidence of alien life, their development rate tripled. They began launching advanced defense satellites disguised as primitive communications equipment. They constructed underground facilities that our best scanners can barely detect. Thelia's avatar grew brighter. Most significantly, they are already preparing for technologies they haven't encountered. We found evidence of defense research against weapons that only exist in their imagination. Weapons that, in some cases, match classified projects of various galactic powers. The chamber erupted in concerned whispers. High Counselor Vexra called for order. What is your conclusion, Guardian Mind? Humans are unique in our galaxy's history, Thelia stated. They combine extreme creativity with constant preparedness for war. They possess a form of collective intelligence we've never seen. Their entertainment media functions as a vast simulation network, allowing them to practice responding to countless possible threats. They don't just adapt to challenges. They actively seek them out and defeat them in theory before encountering them in reality. The AI's final words echoed through the chamber. If we attempt to control or contain humanity, we will fail. They have spent their entire existence preparing for exactly such an attempt. And based on all available data, they have prepared well. The High Council's final deliberation on Earth's status took place in the secure chamber, deep within the galactic core. Only the 7 most senior counselors attended, their forms illuminated by the soft glow of quantum crystals. First Speaker Miralon activated the security field before beginning. We have reviewed all evidence regarding Earth. The time has come to make our final determination. The collected data floated before them. Zaraval's archival discoveries, Admiral Krios's failed contact attempt, Naira's observation reports, and the testimonies from the Grand Chamber. But it was the latest incident that demanded immediate action. 3 days ago, Miralon continued, a human research vessel detected one of our quantum observation posts near their Mars colony. Instead of avoiding it, they approached it directly. They knew exactly what it was and how to disable its defenses. Second Speaker Ralven leaned forward. How is this possible? That technology should have been beyond their comprehension. They didn't comprehend it. Third Speaker Jin Ko explained. They imagined it. Years ago, their writers described a similar device in their fiction. They had already theorized how to defeat it before they ever encountered it. The Council reviewed humanity's latest achievements. They had transformed their moon into a fortress while maintaining its appearance of barrenness. Their Mars colony, seemingly primitive, contained weapons that could destroy ships in hyperspace. Most worrying, They had begun experimenting with technologies that suggested they understood fundamental universal principles they shouldn't have discovered for centuries. "We have three options," Miralon stated. "First, full containment. We establish a quarantine zone around their solar system. They would detect it," Jinko countered, "and their response would be severe. Second option, integration. We reveal ourselves and invite them into the galactic community." "Too dangerous," fourth speaker Venray argued. "Their paranoia runs too deep. They would suspect our motives, prepare for betrayal." "The third option," Miralon continued, "is unprecedented. We classify Earth as beyond bounds, not because they are dangerous, but because they are unique. We continue to watch, we continue to learn, but we do not interfere." The council chamber fell silent as they considered the implications. Never in galactic history had a pre-FTL civilization been given such status. "They will emerge eventually," fifth speaker Corazin noted. "Their rate of advancement, their drive to explore, it's inevitable." "Yes," Miralon agreed, "but they will emerge on their terms, fully prepared for whatever they might face, and perhaps that is for the best." The vote was unanimous. Earth's file in the Galactic Database was updated one final time. Classification: Beyond Bounds. 380 Leveal. UNDEFI. ED. TONTTTSST. Hey, use. Do Ninoti Initi. 8. Special Ninotavion. This civilization represents an evolutionary path previously unknown in the galaxy. They have achieved through imagination what others achieved through experience. They have prepared for wars they haven't fought, mastered technologies they haven't encountered, and developed defenses against enemies they haven't met. The final line of the file read, "When humanity reaches the stars, they will not be discovering the galaxy. They will be confirming what they have always suspected. And they will be ready." As the council adjourned, Miralon made one last entry in her personal log. "We have encountered many species that evolved to survive. Humanity is the first that evolved to win. May we be wise enough to meet them as equals when the time comes."